and
Oddworld.
Hey oddballs, I'm your host Jensen, and welcome to episode 127. We are jumping right in today and saying happy birthday to you December 4th babies. I'll be reading from the birthday book and we're going to get to know about you. So here we go.
Happy birthday.
It is a curious dichotomy of December 4th people's characters that, although they cherish their individuality, they feel compelled to impose their own convictions upon those around them. Often lacking self-awareness, they see no contradiction in seeking to control the thoughts and actions of others, while at the same time reserving their own right to autonomy. But their pushiness usually stems from the best of intentions. Those born on this day are thoughtful and socially responsible. Their guiding visions generally concerned with advancing their greater good, rather than any more selfish ambitions. Their sense of natural justice and balanced objectivity, in particular, propel them toward activities that are intended to bring about a more enlightened or better regulated society, and they may hence often be found promoting a clear-cut set of ideological or political beliefs, either as politicians or social campaigners, or else through more subtle but no less effective media encompassed by the artistic disciplines. December 4th back their strongly held opinions and ambitions with resourcefulness, energy and vigor, and, since they are additionally practical and organized types, with carefully devised and impeccable executed plans of action. Stimulated by challenge, they relish taking risks and facing obstacles squarely, a strategy that often has remarkable results, but which may equally cause them to explode with frustration when they find their progress blocked. Others regard their determined and confrontational approach with awe, but sometimes prefer to give them a wide berth lest they find themselves in the firing line. Those closest to them see the gentler, more affectionate side to their characters. Their virtues are free-thinking, courageous, determined. Their vices are domineering, easily frustrated, rash. If you know somebody whose birthday is December 4th, or if this is your birthday, let me know if this sounds like them or you, and let's go ahead and move on to stories.
This comes from Oratoh on Reddit.
I'm an open skeptic about the paranormal, but I had an experience some time ago that isn't really scary, but I find it interesting. 25 years ago, I worked at a microfilm company where I managed archival preservation projects. One time, a person on my staff was assigned to do an on-site job, but couldn't do it, so I went ahead. It was an old 1920s Gothic-looking mausoleum where a camera was set up in one of the rooms. So, I film the material, bring back the film, and have it processed. And while I'm inspecting, I notice these strange light leaks on some of the frames. I know I took the necessary precautions in loading and unloading the film, so it baffled me how this happened, and they were unusual streaks of light. The next day, I go to the location, refilm the material, and this time I take the camera head and some of the equipment back with me, going straight home since it was late, planning to bring everything back to work the next morning. That evening, I was at my computer when I felt a burning sensation on my back. I looked in the mirror and see small parallel scratches running down my lower back. I had never felt a burning sensation like that before, with superficial scratches that went away in a few hours. I figured I must have done this somehow and let it go. This was before all the ghost TV programs, so I had never seen or known anything about these things happening. And years later, when I'm watching those ghost paranormal shows on TV and see these types of things occurring quite often, scratching and light streaks, it makes me wonder about my experience to this day. So I should have asked if this was like a real mausoleum. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it sounds like it is, but even if it's fake, it really doesn't matter, because if it's real, then it's probably the spirits that are lingering in there who are doing all this. Now, if it's fake, it could be spirits who are attracted to this, because if it's like, I don't know, not a scary film, but like, it's in a spookier setting, it could attract, some kind of spirit. But the thing that really bothers me is the freaking scratches down the back. Based off of this story, I don't think this person did it. I mean, there have been plenty of scratches down the back that I have seen that people could easily do based off of the pattern of the scratches and how high you could reach your back. But if there are 2 scratches, this person was just sitting there and then these scratches just appeared on their back. Yeah, I don't think that was them, but I find that wild. Whatever was in this mausoleum was not having it and really did not want you to film. And I'm wondering if the streaks of light are like the spirits themselves. But I am curious to hear what you guys think, and let's go ahead and move into the next story.
This comes from Sheriff County on Reddit.
6 years ago, my friend and I went to Montreal for the day. When we arrived at the station, I used the washroom. When I went in, I was alone. No one was in there. Anyways, while I was washing my hands, I saw a woman pass by me through the reflection of the mirror. She was in her mid to late 40s with short blonde hair and wearing a plaid shirt. I didn't think anything of it. It's a public washroom. People come and go. But as I was drying my hands, I realized I didn't hear any stall doors open. I didn't hear any movement or noise at all, and found that a bit strange. So, I decided to lean over and see if there was anyone in the stalls. There was not. I was still very alone in that washroom. Realizing that, I immediately got goosebumps and ran out as quickly as I could. I told my friend what I witnessed, and he looked at me like I was insane. Well, this is definitely not the first washroom ghost that we've heard of, but still spooky nonetheless. It's kind of funny because, this person is just like, oh yeah, it's another person. And then eventually it clicks in their brain that they don't hear any noise at all. And then they realize that they are alone and there is nobody else in there. On one hand, I think I would be freaked out, but on the other hand, I might just whip out my ghost equipment and figure out who it was. I know this freaked this person out, but this one's kind of fun to me just because they got so much detail in such a little short blip of time. The fact that they were able to point out that she's in her 40s with short blonde hair and wearing a plaid shirt. Who is that and why are they still there? I don't know. I'm too curious, and I would check the records on that specific station and see if anybody has passed away around there or in there, or hell, maybe it's some kind of parallel universe thing, and for a split second there you were actually seeing someone from the other side who was actually legitimately using the bathroom. You were just in some weird cross parallel thing. I don't know how that stuff works. I'm just making shit up now. I don't really know. It just sounds good. So anyhow, if you guys have any thoughts or ideas, let me know. If you have a paranormal story, like either story today or just any story in general, let me know as well. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And well, it's an odd world after all. Oddballs, thank you for listening. And if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to leave 5 stars or thumbs up on whatever podcast platform you listen on. If you have any comments for this episode, comment below or head over to Instagram and comment on this episode's preview. To submit a story or for more information, go to itsanoddworldafterall.com.